Hello and welcome back to MMMcast or
Cast.
That was a good one, guys. Cast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to be doing about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours here of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, our Ashar campaign. Apart from that, let's jump into the recap, I suppose. Are we calling out patrons before or after?
Now.
Okay, let's call out some patrons.
After.
So, okay.
After.
So anyways, let's go straight into our recap. Hopefully the editor will cut that. If not, then I just look like an idiot. Helena, do you want to take the recap from last time?
Okay, so we're all on the run, we think. We're like racing through town. Theo just landed back at Steel Cry. He's like, whoa, let me grab the bags. I'm going to go. So then he goes to the teleportation circle. And then some guy was about to take Gimble's stuff, but he saves it right in the nick, which I feel like we need to recognize that little act of heroicism. Heroicy? Whatever. So then the rest of us get there and everything seems okay. We pay handsomely. We get teleported to Ashar. We look around. We're like, whoa, this is like a village. It's like kind of cute and there's some water. And where is all the magic, yo? And so we talked to some people and they're like, you see that creepy opening in that mountain over there? Yeah, go into that. So we went into that and boom, here is where the dazzling magicians are. Magicians, is that derogatory?
I'll accept it.
So we're like, oh, what's this? A big crowd is forming? And hey, a duel is about to go down. Great timing, right? Because what a fun thing to be able to watch. It's the Archmage of Necromancy. Ilufair. And he's like, he's there, he's waiting for his, opposer. And Rook is like, yo, dude, I got this letter. And, oh, wait, let me back up, actually. So we get teleported, and then Rook is immediately like, you know what? All right, I'm out again. And Gimble's like, what the fuck? And we're all like, okay, wait. Gimble gets all sweet and he's like, let me give you some money to make sure you're protected. And Rook's like, what does this mean? And then they talk some more. And Rook is like, oh, you weren't like mindlessly seeking revenge against Shah. You just like want to find your mom and also like figure out what this weird threat is that's in the background. And so you were like, okay, we can we can do this now. So cool. Parent Trap worked. So then we go into the magic and then the duel is happening and we're like, whoa. And then Rook's like, yo, dude, I got this letter. And he's like, give it to me after. Hello, I'm very important. And okay, so we waited.
Hello.
Ilufair did some cool magic. Then Staphis came by and he was the opponent. So they did their duel and it was very interesting. Can you explain that magic? And is it important to know those spells again? What do you think?
I mean, you saw Staphis cast a high-level necromancy spell, Clone, did it to perfection, and Ilufair countered that with a concoction of spells that ended up copying Staphis's soul and transmitting it into both the cloned and the regular body, something that is fundamentally and like theoretically impossible, but happened.
And Theo was like, that's disgusting and unnatural. Okay, so then then we see Penny and it's like, oh, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I've been trying to talk to Ilufair. He won't see me. And so Rook's like, well, I got this letter I got to give him. Let's jump him after the match. I mean, with our speaking. So
verbally assault.
Yeah. So after the match, Ilufair, Penny, Gimble, and Rook go have a meeting, and then the rest of us are going to go get lodging. So in the meeting, Ilufair's like, oh, you have this letter from this fellow, you say? What? And then he turns into Marvin the Marvelous. So we're like, it's the same guy. He sent a letter to himself. That's wacky. So, yeah. And then Gimble was like, let me tell you all this stuff about this weird threat we've noticed that's magic resistant. And so they shared some info, and Illafair's like, well, I don't know what we can do, but I'll help a little. I've been looking into Miranda's locations, making like inquiries into where Shaw's at. And there was a ping on Miranda's location in the mountains for like a quick ping, and now it's gone. And so he gives us the location for that. Anything else in that meeting that I'm forgetting?
No, you did everything. Go ahead.
Well, and then Penny revealed that she actually knew Illafair and was his apprentice.
And he momentarily faked his death.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. They're a couple of jokers. Okay.
A couple of jokers.
And then Theo, Kaim, and Dream went on a walkabout. We found a sweet hotel room, and then went swimming in some magically warmed water. Yay! That's all.
It was delightful.
And kind of to tail end the episode, we got an interaction between Gimble and Rook inside of one of their rooms. Gimble feverishly researching anything he could find on the coming threats, his mother, where they should go next. Rook patiently, stoically sitting next to him on a sofa, observing a fire. And that brings us to inventing the burrito. That's the most important part of the episode.
Yes. Yeah.
That brings us to the present. So we have Kaim. I almost called you Dash. We have Kaim, Theo, and Dream coming back to the White Squall, and Gimble and Rook still sitting in that same in their same spots.
I'm going to bed. It was a good evening.
That was a lovely swim. Lovely time with you guys. Theo, I like you.
Oh my God, I forgot Theo's accent.
Russian.
Really bad Russian, yeah. I like you as well. Thank you.
Go to bed.
As you guys head to your respective rooms, Gimble, Rook, are you doing anything additionally before? I'm assuming Rook's going to sleep before Gimble, who's working into the night.
If we hear them come home, I'd want to stop them. Yeah. We have so much more information, and there's maybe a lead, and there's nothing we can really do right now about the people that are attacking, but he gave us a ping on where my mother is, and we should leave in the morning if that works for everybody.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Cool. And go back to try to plot whatever the safest route is to where that is.
Okay.
He told us what was there, right? Like what used to be there, or just that it's a spot?
They pinged a spot towards the peak of the peaks of conflagration.
So we'll have to go across.
Which are actually you're right alongside. So in the main map, you see Ashar is here, and right above you are the peaks.
Okay. Will it help us save any time if we go across the water? Not really.
Go ahead, and as you're doing your research, roll me a... We'll just do straight intelligence. We'll see if you can navigate a way through just using maps.
15.
15. Roll me a history check as well.
Okay. Dirty 20, but 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. There is not a good way to travel through the peaks. They are an unforgiving land. So usually kind of mountains around you towards the south or towards the east, any other mountain range it's pretty easy. They're pretty well traveled. There's kind of game trails or trails that are made specifically to and from the mountains because of the dwarves that are living inside the mountains. The peaks, to your knowledge, with that dirty 20, no one has ever made any place to stay on the peaks because it's such a harsh landscape. As you get closer to the top, you get closer to what is a small opening to the elemental plane of fire. So as you increase in height, instead of kind of the air getting thinner and kind of it getting cooler, it gets overwhelmingly hot, and not many people have actually made it to the peaks and come back. So because of that, there isn't really any well-traveled path up the peaks. You do know from that check that flying is a possibility to a certain height, to a certain extent, but most of the predators on the peaks take to the sky. You know that there have been many cases of rocks, been many cases of, a few cases, some more believable than others, of a large red dragon. It seems like through your research, the sky is probably more dangerous than the ground.
Shoot. I think I'll probably, turn in sometime after that with trying to just hope that my dreams will tell me what to do. See what my sleepy brain does processing wise.
Okay.
Rook, out of deference to you, Gimble, has fallen asleep in one of the chairs, so you can have the entire bed.
Oh, thank you.
Anyone doing anything before sleep? So as the sun comes up and everyone rises, Gimble, I'm assuming earlier than everyone else, Dream, just kind of still in your awakened state. Rook waking up and you have a horrible pain in your back.
I'm a dad. I can sleep in a chair without any consequences.
Still horrible pain. It takes you a while to stretch it out. As you all awaken and get ready for the day, where do you go to next in your journey?
At breakfast, I would say.
I was going to say we probably meet for breakfast and then we probably discuss our options because Gimble has to give us the information.
Yeah. So around the breakfast table.
So there isn't really a plotted path. So all we really have is that ping. It looks like it's close to the plane of elemental fire. So the higher we go, the worse it's going to get. So we should invest, I suppose, in things that won't spoil in the heat if possible. I don't really know how long this is going to take us, but not a lot of people have come up and back. I suppose we can ask, being here, if there is any guide available to guide us at least some of the way. But the biggest thing I was able to find was to not fly, even though that seems to be the easiest way. They will, it'll put us on the radar of a lot of nasty things.
Can any of the wizards help? Like maybe, I know teleportation circles, but is there a way to teleport beyond that?
I mean, they're developing magic beyond what I'm familiar with. I know that the process of teleportation that I'm aware of requires a known location, and specifically a circle. But it's possible that they've done research beyond what I am aware of. I hadn't imagined the uses of necromancy that we saw yesterday. There's, how much can conjuration and evocation and illusion do that has never been seen outside of here.
Well, it's worth a shot. I mean, what are our other options? Just move through the mountains and hope we can find a path?
That's kind of it as far as I've been able to see. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been on worse field trips. At least there'll be no sewers.
True.
You said elemental plane of fire. That sounds really bad.
Yeah, that sounds kind of scary.
Would I be familiar already with the city of Brass just as a concept? Or is that not in this universe?
Roll a history check.
Okay. Uh, 22.
You've heard stories and kind of seen passages written for beings who've traveled to and from, and you understand a bit about the city of Brass. You know that there's a city there with all kind of concoction of different creatures coming together for this or that, mostly trade. You're not too familiar with it, but you have heard of it before.
As far as I'm aware, there's only one location in the entirety of the plane that's even remotely habitable, and I have no idea if that's anywhere near this.
Sounds like we need wizard help.
I see, because perhaps if they have a plotting of the plane of fire and it turns out that it is close, that could be useful. But otherwise, the plane of fire would, decimate all of us.
Can I make a common sense roll to see if we should just hike there or?
No.
So perhaps we'll check with a conjuration expert could tell us about teleportation methods that we're not familiar with and could possibly point us in the direction of somebody that was aware of the layout of what touched the conflagration peaks on the side of the plane of fire. That is, plane travel is conjuration, if I'm not mistaken. So...
you would know out of all of us.
Does anybody else have any ideas? I feel like I'm drawing the end of my mental ropes.
I think we should look to a guide of some kind.
Okay, so I suppose then the School of Conjuration it is. Shall we to Ashar proper?
I'm ready.
Well, magic Ashar. It's a perspective thing, which one is proper.
Varme definitely says that this is the proper Ashar. As you finish up your dinner or your breakfast, and you head towards the gate into Ashar, you are once again kind of transported into this otherworldly place. It was kind of tough taking it all in the first time, but you see just as you're entering in, flanked by, I guess I can pull that up, flanked by the two kind of garden beds on either side with the statues. Looking up, you definitely recognize Ilofair's face as one of the statues. So you can deduce that these are probably the archmages of their respective colleges. As you walk in, you see the same purple fog around the edges as far as you can see, flanking each of the buildings. And you see floating around above and throughout this plane of existence, wizards flying, chatting, some on discs that are flying hundreds of feet in the air, doing what you could only imagine experiments, and just a bustle of action and activity around.
How do we... Stopping whoever's closest. Could you point us to the College of Conjuration, please?
Yes, it's that one over there. It's second one on the right. She points you to this building here.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. Sir.
She goes back to changing her hat into some kind of precious material, precious gem as you're walking by.
Transmutation. Okay.
Walking into and up to the college is easy enough. The doors completely open. As you step into the college, you see that even here, this what looks like a large on the outside, a large kind of Gothic cathedral. As you walk in, is expansive on the inside. As you walk in, you see. You see levels as far as you can see up, and you're kind of on a base level here. And as you peer back, you don't see an end to where this main thoroughfare lies, with different doors joining.
Is there an information desk?
You don't see anything outwardly that kind of pangs of an information desk or someone you can talk, someone that has information about where you're going, but you can kind of pull in anybody who's kind of jostling around or running around, doing their own thing into a conversation.
Okay. We'll do that then. Yes.
Okay. First person you see as you walk up to him, you see them concentrating on something right in front of them. You see kind of these shadows starting to appear. Do you tap them?
I'm going to wait till they're done. If they're concentrating, okay. I'll wait and watch.
As the shadows congeal into a mass, and you see it's a bit wrong. So it's a dog, what you can tell, but you see its head is not in the right place, doesn't have as many feet as it should, and the concentration breaks, and the wizard says, "Damn it, I couldn't get it again."
I put a reassuring hand on Theo and Kaim's shoulders.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
What?
That was a very impressive attempt. Congratulations on getting this far.
Don't patronize me. What do you need?
We are looking for either a teleportation office or an expert in teleportation. We're trying to get to a point far in the Conflagration Peaks.
Why on earth would you want to go there?
To save the world.
Okay. Third office on the right is the World Saving Division, so perhaps going over there would help.
Sarcasm check.
Oh yeah, he's being sarcastic as fuck.
We're saving Gimble's world.
Who is Gimble?
Gimble the
I
Great.
just kind of look at Rook.
Your Gimble?
Yes,
no.
And if you'd like to get rid of us, you can help us get into the Conflagration Peaks, and you'll never have to see us again.
Well, as far as I know, no one that I know has been there. I know that Philip has been working on some kind of teleportation nonsense. That's not something that I'm doing. That's not in my purview. Maybe he can help. But other than that, I think you might be out of luck.
All right. Can you tell us where Philip is, or perhaps Planeswalkers?
Your guess is as good as mine. Philip Farwalker is his name. I haven't seen him today.
Rook is just going to yell at the top of his lungs, "Philip Farwalker!"
So there's not really an organization to this place, I'm gathering.
Well, if the magic is strong enough in you, then you'd be able to find him. And if you don't have that magic, then I guess you weren't meant to see him.
Oh man, the urge to toss this guy is so strong.
Rook, we don't whispering. We don't like this guy anymore, do we?
No, not at all.
Don't think we ever did.
We're primarily an abjuration, so locating objects is not necessarily something I spend a lot of time for, mostly blocking arrows and whatnot. But
got it. Are we done?
Yes, I think so.
My strongest spell was tossing a catoblepus across a forest. How heavy do you think those are, Theo?
Theo starts like counting on his fingers and like.
How many upstart wizards do you think that would be? Because I think I could throw a wizard much farther.
I'm sorry.
Help with that.
Are you still speaking to me?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I pat Ria's side, and then I'd like to cast Druidcraft and make the sensory effect that he just smells skunk.
Okay.
Love
That's
it.
what it looks like.
Patting Rio, and then I just kind of...
As he doesn't know where it's coming from, and he just starts walking away from you.
There we go.
Gimble, can you cast a spell?
It would probably be locate person, but I don't have that, and I don't know him. Even if I did.
Well, I take out my sending stone and message Illafair. Illafair? Nothing?
No, you saw him and Penny kind of bamf into his laboratory, which you could assume is probably in another plane. I mean, you could try that with Philip.
Oh, because I know his name, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Philip Farseer. What was it?
Farwalker.
Philip Farwalker.
Yes.
Hello. My name is Brodwin Greaves, and I represent a small group associated with the College of Necromancy. We are looking to get the services of a teleportation master.
What's in it for me?
Well, this is a task given to us by Illafair of the Archmage of the House of Necromancy.
So, nothing?
Well, I saw him rip the soul out of a guy yesterday, so I don't think you should probably want to piss him off.
Gold?
I did see him rip somebody's soul out yesterday.
They wouldn't do that to each other within the walls. This is sacrosanct.
You're muted.
You know what, Gimble? I don't know how this all works. Usually back home we threaten people and they do what we want.
You don't get a response.
I don't think that's going to work here.
I also have money.
How much?
Well, it depends on what you can do. I would love to meet with you, and then we can discuss what's possible and then how much that's worth.
As you finished that last syllable, Gimble, you feel kind of a ripple of the weave, and kind of a smaller gentleman taps you on the shoulder, Rook.
I turn around calmly.
He kind of looks up to you. Shall we discuss it now?
Yes. Is there like a meeting room or, I don't know, a garden or some kind of weird Ashar like stairwell we can sit on upside down or something?
I suppose if this doesn't tickle your fancy, then follow me. And he takes you into kind of a corner off to the side of this still main thoroughfare. Not a room per se, just kind of kitty corner in the front right side. I hope this is to your liking.
Yeah, sure. Gimble?
So we're looking to teleport to a location on a map.
Okay, where is this location?
It is near the peak of the conflagration peaks, near the top.
You're out of your mind.
Likely, yes. Yeah. We unfortunately have to do it still.
And do you have the means of teleporting?
No, that's why we're talking to you.
He's very unpleasant.
I am able to use conventional teleportation, but seeing as I've never been to this location and there's not a circle on the other end, I'm not entirely sure how successful.
I have never been to the peak, so and most I can get you is a bit north of Yieldgate, but not near where your supposed location is. One thought, if you haven't had it already, have you tried perhaps scrying in the general vicinity and then attempting to teleport there?
So if we got somebody to scry it, could you teleport us to that place that they scried?
I suppose I could, but I imagine he has the same abilities to transport his eye if he knows the proper incantations, though it is going to be very difficult if you've just seen it in a glimpse.
And if it goes wrong, it could go very, very
terribly wrong. Especially that close to the elemental planes. It makes the weave do funny things. So potentially into the elemental plane.
Do you know what's on the other side here? Or is it just a random location over there?
I haven't heard of anything on the immediate other side. I know a few of our scholars have gone out and haven't returned yet, but that was a few months back. As far as I understand it, that location is constantly changing on the other side. It's in constant turmoil.
So, unfortunately, I believe I can only travel 2 teleportation circles. I have the spell teleportation circle, not the spell teleport. So that might not even be in the question with scrying.
Yes, well, you said there was money involved, so perhaps you can fund some of my ventures, and I will somehow track down a way of scrying and see if I can pull off a teleportation of the 5 of you, though, again, there is much risk involved.
What would you need in payment for that?
How much are you offering?
All your arms and legs come to mind, I say under my breath.
581 gold and 3 potions of sleep.
It's a very exact figure. 581. That'll let me buy the book and I'll get back the scroll. I suppose that I would do.
How long do you think you would need?
Well, I need to track down some way of scrying. It's not in my purview. So perhaps give me a few days. How can I contact you when I am finished?
Do you know the sending spell?
Yes, but I would likely be on a different dimension than you unless you're staying in this school.
We can maybe try and get lodgings at the school of... We'll camp out.
Perfect. So I suppose give me a few days and I will see what I can do.
Thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
Of course. Goodbye now. Okay, and looks at all of you awkwardly.
Oh no, Rook's already walking away.
Okay. Also, talking to Dream, that was honestly less expensive than I expected.
Honestly, Gimble, I have never appreciated you and Wumford more than when we came to this place.
They are the best kind of magic user. That is true.
Every wizard we have met has been insufferable. Insufferable.
Well, perhaps if we go back to necromancy, we'll have a better chance of finding a place to stay. I mean, you can throw around Penny's name. We can try Elifair, see if that'll work.
Rook puts the tent back in his pack as he was starting to unpack a tent to just throw out in the middle.
The College of Conjuration. I'd like to study here someday. I don't really want to get a reputation. I'm already a little bit of a dolt for knowing as little as I do.
I mean, I told the guy that we were going to camp out, and he did not seem like that was a problem. So,
I guess we'll go back to necromancy and see if we can get a place.
Sure. Go ahead and make an scrying. I think is divination.
Divination. Hello. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's exactly what divination is. Hello. Silly. Okay. Yeah. So going back to necromancy.
Gimble, somebody said at one point that if you became a member of one of the colleges, so couldn't you just go and do the tailoring school?
What?
The school of alteration?
Tailoring?
It's possible. Yeah, I guess if I was signed up, I don't know exactly what they'd expect of me, but we could always find out. And then if that doesn't work,
it seems like you just
shot.
I guess you just cast a spell and then you become a member, right? You just got to do one of those Shatter Kai things or whatever.
Expect you to be able to do more than just cast it, but it's not a terrible idea, at least to give it a shot. And then after that, we try to use relatives and nepotism to get a room.
Yeah, I guess. I think I have to talk to my god or whatever. He seems to be pissed off about something. So if you guys want to work on that, I think I need to meditate for a while.
Perhaps we do it in the courtyard?
I'll just find a quiet place and then I'll meet up with you guys later.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, shoot us a message when you're ready, I guess.
I'm going to cast guidance on you just because it feels right.
I'm guided.
Hopefully Ilmater doesn't really hate whoever your god is.
That'd be fucked up if he hated my god.
Yes, it would be.
That'd be really...
So, Gimble, where are you going?
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm going to go to the School of Abjuration to try and see if I can join up.
Yeah. As you enter into the school, you see it's a similar experience where as it opens up and the Abjuration School is...
The red one? Or is it the purple one?
Abjuration is very back left.
I thought so. With how big and girthy it was, I was like, that feels like Abjuration.
This one, actually.
I thought so. With how like closed off and pointy it was, I was like, that feels like Abjuration.
As you walk in, the same experience that you had before, as it opens up into seemingly another kind of partial dimension here. It's much more organized than you've seen of the School of Conjuration. You see kind of rows of desks, rows of offices coming up to kind of a small bank of tables towards the like center right of the room. And that seems like any kind of like questions that people might have or kind of a stopping place.
I thoroughly enjoy that Gimble's little organization-based mind went with this college then. Yeah, I'm going to go up to the question desk.
Okay. As you head up there, you see two people prominently in the front. One of them, a larger curiously half-orc man, kind of teaching or training a smaller gnome man in kind of what looks like the same kind of spell that you use to shield yourself from attacks. He's training him how to transfer that to something else. So he's kind of giving him things that he can work on in the future, giving him feedback on it as you walk up.
Oh, and that's something I can do. Arcane word projection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't want to interrupt them, but I'll wait until there seems like there's a stopping point or a pausing point.
Okay. Yes, Timothy, just imagine that you are that target, and the spell itself comes much more natural, as in your mind you're shielding yourself and not something else.
Dream. I'm gonna send Dream to stand next to Timmy. And then very slowly, I will go through my hand motions of starting from myself and pushing my ward out to Dream to envelop her.
Mm-hmm. He kind of takes notice. Oh, that's very good. Very good. Are you a member? I haven't seen your face before.
No, that's actually what I wanted to speak with you about after your training. I just thought maybe perhaps a visual of imagining a target and might help out some when you're looking at it from a third person point of view.
Yes. Well, 1 second. He kind of talks to Timothy and scoots him over. How can I help you?
I'd like to join.
Perfect. I can definitely do your etiquette now if that's something you're ready for.
Yes. Yeah. Is it only abjuration spells, or is it a combination of uses?
Preferred abjuration, and then once
right.
you get into the higher ranks, as high as high mage, then you could branch off into different schools.
Excellent.
So no violence of any kind if you can stop it, and show me the most powerful spell that you can cast.
Would you like me to cast it on you?
Sure.
All right. Or I guess I can do it on an object if that's preferable.
Dealer's choice.
Has to be a person. I will banish him. The highest level thing I have.
What does he have to save?
It's a charisma save.
As he says, dealer's choice, and he disappears.
What does it look like, that spell?
I think for me, I have a lot of invisible things, and banishment would be one of them, where it's just like a reach out and then a clap, and they just fold into the clap and kind of pop out of existence.
And then
so if he's native to our plane of existence, he's just in that harmless demi-plane, and then remains there until the spell ends. So I can just drop the spell, and he should be able to come back.
How long is the spell?
It's concentration up to a minute, as long as he's native to this plane.
Okay. As you banish him, he disappears, and maybe a second later, he comes back to this plane, and he's very good, good form. Next time, he kind of adjusts your hands and your finger placement. Try this. It'll strengthen your connection to the weave.
Oh, just kind of go through the motion without casting to feel okay, yeah, that is different.
Next powerful.
All right. I will. So these are, obviously usually response spells. So I will cast, I'll cast Dispel Magic at 5th level.
Okay. Not having really anything to dispel, he recognizes kind of the patterns that you're making and the feeling of the weave as it takes place. Again, he gives you small pointers as to like better control the weave and better place it on objects or manipulate it. Very good. Third.
Counterspell at 4th level.
Okay.
There's a lot of like Tai Chi going on here.
For counterspell, could Theo cast a spell and then he counters it?
Either way
might be helpful. Yes. I just feel so strange doing this with nothing to actually work with.
Oh, please. If you have a helper, it's nothing we frown at.
Does it matter what level I cast at? Or what I cast?
I would say if at all possible, keep it to 3rd.
So it would be more impressive if it was a higher.
Well, I'm trying to read to make sure that I'm not screwing this up anymore. Okay, yeah, just cast the whatever the highest thing you got at me is, and I'll work with it.
The highest thing. Theo's got your permission to expend a high level spell slot. Okay. We're gonna do Flame Strike.
Okay.
What does your Flame Strike look like?
I guess I would. I haven't thought about this because I've never used it. It's so high level. I never.
What level is it? 5th?
It's 5th level. Yeah.
Okay.
But I only have 1 slot, so I guess I point my mace and say something towards Gimble. I don't know what I would say.
As you speak an incantation, like lovingly towards your god, you see from your form this jet of flame almost ricochets off of Theo and heads towards you as you attempt to counterspell.
I rolled a 20, so I rolled a 15 plus 5.
Okay.
So it would have been 5 over what I needed, I think.
A little kind of antsy and nervous at kind of everyone or this wizard watching you. As he casts the spell, you immediately cast it. So the flame strike gets maybe a foot away from you and then dissipates. He says, very good. Typically, you want to wait a little bit longer before counterspelling just to kind of get it to the enemy a little bit. But that was fantastic. I've seen more than what I need. I'm able to give you the moniker of wizard. I would say a little bit more practice, a little bit higher level spells. You'll be in the mage category, but you can have a room here at the school and practice as much as you want.
Thank you. That is absolutely more than I could have ever asked for. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Would you mind doing that again so I can see if I can get it right this time? Do you have another one of those? I'm turning back to Theo.
I can try and kill you.
Tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. Because I want to get the form now.
All right. Let's see. Let me send at you. How about just a little shatter? Let's do that. Okay. Oh wait, that's not going to work because it needs to be an attack one. All right, Scorching Ray. That's a second level you need to know.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. The higher the better, but I think all of yours are the same level, right? They always step up together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just my higher ones are saves again on you rather than being attack spells.
Well, so he can counter any spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
it doesn't matter.
Anyway. All right, Scorching Ray. Here it comes. That's going to be 22 to hit.
What level are you casting at?
Second level.
Okay.
Actually,
she's
I can cast that higher, so.
She's a warlock, so it's always 5th level for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Okay. 21.
All right.
So,
Again, so it comes a little bit closer to you. Oh, go ahead. You can explain.
So I'll let it come at me and like kind of catch the fire within the weave and draw it back behind me as it dissipates to kind of like make it just a smooth path to disappearance. Trying to take what he gave me technique wise.
He kind of claps. Very nice. Very nice. Not what I was saying, but also very flashy. I was saying more make it a mind game. Make it so the mage feels like they hit you with it, and then you counterattack. But again, fantastic. Here's your key to your room. As you pick it up, you get the feeling that you know where your room is, holding the key. Please come and go as you please. From this point forward, you have 1 year. After that year, you're able to request an etiquette from anyone above you, and so being anyone below you can request one from you in a year. So that's how you transition into the mage or are demoted. So keep that in mind. Always keep your skills very sharp.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
This is really cool. I like this place a lot. Let's go check out my room.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, I feel like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like as he's like doing this and celebrating, I would probably whisper to Kaim or someone be like, apparently it's okay for him to waste spells when he wants to do something. When we try to train, I mean,
that's awesome.
and I'm probably not that quiet about it. So,
as you four head to Gimble's room here at the college, Rook, you find a quiet corner. We'll say near the garden, towards the entrance. You sit down and you start to meditate. It takes you a little bit longer, the better part of like 25, 30 minutes or so. But you feel that same breeze on your face as you open your eyes and you're in the mountaintop.
Ilmater?
Yes, child, come here.
So I get the feeling you're mad at me. I don't know what I did this time.
It's more of a disappointment, my boy.
Parents say things like that, but they really just mean mad.
Well, I understand your struggles, but I hope for you to overcome them. So, where is your friend, Dash or Mazarin?
Dash is under the sway of fey creatures, and Mazarin is dead.
Is he now?
He was stabbed. I mean, my daughter said that he died.
Where is his body?
In the forest?
Perhaps ask your daughter again where his body is and consider his circumstances.
I don't know if
you might know how to get back into my good graces.
I understand that stopping Mazarin's suffering is of great importance. But I'm also attempting to end the suffering of one who we have the opportunity to do so currently. And having you behind me would greatly assist me in that.
Sometimes we have to look outside of ourselves and our selfish goals.
I'm trying to save Gimble's mother from suffering in a hell dimension.
And I'm sure that Gimble and your friends are very able to help her suffering, but who's there to help Mazarin? We are there to help the suffering of those who cannot help themselves.
But I could do Mazarin. I mean, I don't even know where Mazarin is.
You know where Gimble's mother is?
Yes, she's in the mountains.
I cannot teach you this lesson. It's something you need to learn on your own if you're going to be my champion.
I mean, any tips? I mean, you have to understand, Ilmater, I walk around and I punch things really hard. Anything beyond that, I don't know how. Even if I knew where Mazrin was, how do you get to him? I need my friends to assist me with that. To do your will, I need them to finish this task before I can move on to that one.
So you're admitting that there is a task at hand for Mazrin, that he's not just simply dead.
Well, you seem to be implying that that's the case.
Right. Well, think on that and consider your options.
I'm assuming he shunts me back.
Yep.
Any news?
Gimble's end. On your powers. You try to manifest them again, and nothing comes.
So I can't use any of my paladin features?
You can't use your blessing that I gave you, or that Elmater gave you. You can still use your paladin features for now, but the blessing is gone.
Okay, that makes more sense. No, but I was taking out the sending stone to say any news to Gimble.
Okay. As you take it out and try to ping Gimble, it doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
School.
Yeah, they're in the school, and they're in another plane of existence.
So each school has its own demi-plane? God, I hate this place.
Shoot. That's going to make this very difficult.
Because we're going to see his room.
So, Gimble, as you head down, it takes you maybe 15 minutes or so to kind of find your way through. It's a lot more orderly than what you saw the Conjuration School to be, even going so far as having numbers and names on the doors. So as you get closer, you're actually able to pick out your name on the little door. Opening it up, you see a very small room. Nothing too fancy, nothing too austere. You see a small bunk in the back of the room, a small writing desk, and then towards the left of the room, you see different kind of spellcasting accoutrement. You see kind of different varying quills with different size tips. You see different kinds of parchment rolled up, different sizes of parchment rolled up as well. Anything that you could ask for to do research.
Okay. Oh my gosh. And the organization style entirely makes sense. This is what I was trying to say to Muzo. All of those times you go numerically by rank and status and then alphabetically by last name and first name. It just works, you know? This is okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting way too ahead of myself. We should really figure out what to do next. I'm taking far too much time on this. Sorry, I haven't felt this excited in a while. What can we do? What should we do? What do you all think?
I think we should see the library.
That's a fantastic idea. Do you think there's maybe a joint library that's connected between all of them, or do you think this is only going to have one on abjuration books? We should find out. Try to see what we can. Is it like sensible where the library is, or like is there an error?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
I could say all of you guys make an investigation check.
17.
All 11.
17.
18.
Nice. 18. All right. You guys are looking around, and Dream spots it first, but you see kind of hovering outside, out of the wall. You see kind of these little podiums every so often. As you walk closer to the podiums, you see that they burst a light with what looks like a map of the college. and it shows you your current location and different symbols on the map. You see kind of fork and knife. You see a book. You see what looks like an enchanting table. Different things. What you take as the library is not too far. It's just right straight down the main thoroughfare at the very end, and maybe about another 10-minute walk or so.
Organization. See, how hard would this be for Conjuration to do? How hard? With Abjuration being the place that has Dispel, maybe we can find something more about your scar, Dream.
Maybe. I'm very excited for you to be accepted into the school. I think this is where you belong.
Let's see what we can find.
At that point, as you guys are walking towards the library and into the library, we'll say that Rook, you get inside of the school and are able to cast the spell again.
Gimble, this thing better not be broken.
It's not broken. Did you need something?
Well, I've been trying to ping you since all the way from the Conjuration College.
Oh, the school. Sorry, my dog is howling. Oh, the school's in a demi-plane, I think. That's probably not a shoot.
Well,
So
I guess I'm heading towards the... I guess I'll head to the School of Conjuration and sit on the floor.
I mean, we could all go together and see if we can find a Conjuration library.
Why would we need a library?
Well, we were thinking the Abjuration library might have something to help us with Dream's situation. And if this has something that could help us with that, I mean, Conjuration has to have something that could help us with something. This place has probably the largest repository of knowledge on magic and the magical in the entire world.
You enjoy yourself, and I will go and wait for the stupid wizard.
Should we also go into the other part of town and see if any adventurers have already tried to scale the mountain?
That's also not a bad idea. I mean, firsthand sources are often the best thing that you can get as far as gathering new information.
Well, if you want to get information here first, we can do that. We're already here.
Let's see if we can find anything on dispelling the marks of patrons. And then once we either do or don't find that, we can check out what we can. We'll store it in my room, and we can go into town and see if there's a way, I don't know, with travelers.
Okay. Kaim, Theo, is that okay?
That sounds like a good and organized plan and a good use of time.
Whatever.
So many birds, so many stones. This is very exciting. I think we're going to accomplish something here. Heading into the library.
There are no birds inside here. What do you see?
I head back to the Conjuration College.
Okay.
Annoyed.
You're able to get it easy enough. What are you doing inside?
I literally am just parking on the first chair I can find that isn't flying around the room.
All right. As you sit there, everyone else, as you're entering the library at the Abjuration College, you see a quiet place. You see rows and rows of desks, maybe 50% of them taken up with people. You're able to find one pretty close in one of the rows next to you. As you sit at the desk, you see it's pretty simple. You see a quill, a small kind of leaflet of paper, and then a hand that's laying down on top. It looks like made out of, you can't tell if it's like a stone or a metal. It has a sheen to it. It kind of, you can't really place what the material is.
look around and see if anybody's using their desk or if they're all just writing right now.
You look around and you see a few people on your same row, and you see one person kind of take one of the pages or one of the parchment, they scribble something on it, and they put it on the hand in front, and you see a incorporeal hand, or you can see kind of a mage hand pick up the actual paper and floats up towards the ceiling. And then maybe 10 minutes later, that same comes back with a stack of 3 books and sets it down on the desk.
Get multiples. Oh my God, that's going to save so much time. Do you guys have anything you want? Is there anything that would help you guys if we're looking at books right now? I've started writing like keywords of like patrons, breaking warlock patrons, undoing demonic bonds, trying to make keyword lists. Kaim, do you want anything on like nature? I don't.
Maybe birds.
Yeah.
Anything on nature? There's maybe something that I need to learn.
Okay, sure. Yeah, totes. Okay. Animals of Srakar. Maybe we can get you a bestiary or something.
That would be lovely.
Theo, I have to be totally honest with you. We really haven't had a time to stop and ask you what you're doing here. You just kind of showed up. That's really
okay.
That feels kind of rude of us. I'm sorry that we've all been kind of stuck in crisis mode for so long without any solutions.
Mark, question about your world.
Mm-hmm.
Does Faerun exist in your world?
No.
Okay. Is that important? I mean, I can help with this. Don't worry.
Well, I'm sure we can get multiple hands, so if you change your mind, let us know.
Gimble. And I kind of step 1 or 2 steps off to the side and kind of like ask Gimble to come over.
As you do that, I'm saying to Theo, may I recommend Yennefer and the Giants?
Yes.
I
Yes.
have a feeling is not my cup of tea. Sure, why not?
If I,
the first volume.
If I hear that, Dream, tell him what it's about, and then back down to Gimble. Do you think you could ask if there's any books on like ancient diseases or extraplanar diseases or something like that? Anything about like a black disease?
What?
Of course, yeah. I'll add to like the list like archaic magical diseases, planar illnesses, and I'll put next to each of them like colon or parentheses black on both of them, see if we can get some keywords in the middle of that. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I'm hoping. Let's try those and we'll see what it does. And then we can use the results of how it responds to all of these to come up with a better solution for the next set. Roll it up, pop it on the hand.
Okay. So what did you wrote about diseases, you wrote about animals. What else did you write about?
Many things.
Yennefer and the Dragons. You want the Yennefer book?
I wrote the first ones were like separating from warlock patrons, breaking demonic bonds.
Okay. Roll a percentile die for each of those categories.
Okay. End up with 400 books.
So we'll start with breaking the bonds.
Okay. 44.
Okay. Then we'll go to the diseases.
39.
Okay. Then we'll go to Yennefer and the Dragons.
That should be with advantage because that's specific.
Yeah, we'll do with advantage.
Okay, first roll is 82. Second roll is 63.
Okay, and then we'll do. What was the last one you were looking for?
Like Animals of Zrakar. It was like a bestiary for him. That is 63 again.
63.
What are the chances of that?
We'll start from the bottom. So as the hands start coming back, you see that on animals or bestiary or kind of those tag words, it brings back one singular book that has all of those in its title. And kind of the main overhead title is a treatise on the mundane and the magical, beasts of the plains. And it's kind of a thick book. This is the first volume of it. As you flip through, you see it is an in-depth treatise on beasts and magical creatures. It goes very in depth into like their mating habits, what they eat, prevalent sicknesses, kind of really in depth on mostly mundane. You see a few magical creatures. Next, we'll do Yennefer. Like crude sketchings of them, like field note sketchings of them. Go ahead.
Hand that over to Kaim.
I'm gonna
I don't know if those
take
are
a seat
detailed
and
enough
start
to
flipping
use.
through it.
Yennefer and the Dragons. As that comes back, there isn't any books being brought over by the hands. You get the feeling that the library itself is more so kind of an academic library and not a library for like novels or anything of the such.
It's not a smut library.
That could be, yes, that could only be very loosely called a novel.
Yeah, you do get a few books on dragons. One book comes back on Yennefer, the fictional character, based on an amalgamation of 3 living women in the past. Kind of these type of things. No actual novels, though.
Who was based on a true story?
Then I would go over to where the hands are and do another piece of paper to do something else.
First, let's get with the rest of them.
Yep.
The magical curses comes back with a few books. There's kind of a few renditions of magical curses that have happened throughout that have been that notes have been taken on, and we have kind of a relative understanding of. But there are. It brings back 5, and you kind of understand that might be its limit for bringing the books back. But you get the feeling, seeing the actual tome numbers, that there's tons on this subject, especially being Abjuration College. There's a lot on this subject.
Makes sense. Put those on top of the books that Kaim already has in his hands on animals.
Mm-hmm. Even more so with the kind of breaking bonds with demon or a devil. You see multiple come back of kind of firsthand retellings, textbook type illustrations of like how one makes the process to like get a devil to agree to a pact with you, starting with like the best way to make a sigil to lock the devil in, and like different types of sigils for different types of creatures. It goes pretty in depth, and in here from the tome numbers, you can see that this is a subject that there's definitely a wide breadth of information in this library.
Start looking at that.
And then what was your question, or what were you writing down, Theo?
I was just gonna go look for, and I'm curious to see what people think of like my country and like where I'm from.
Sure.
Like I want to see what info they have it on from their perspective.
What are you writing specifically?
So Bravo, and also from Munith.
Bravo and Munith. Okay, go ahead and roll a percentile.
92.
You see that you see five books come back, and they're all histories of the plane. You're able to kind of thumb through and find the section specifically on Bravo, and it breaks it down as what started as kind of a rural colony turned into a city. Starting with a kind of a strong theology, and in the most recent 100 years or so, portion of that of the city state or country is transitioning away from the theology, and it talks about its wars or its conflicts with its neighboring city, and how that kind of schism, that civil war that first started as one community, has broken off into two separate countries, and their attempts at making good on that or coming to some kind of truce on that in the last 50 years or so. Go ahead, Dream, go ahead and roll an investigation check for me. 17. You're able to find quite a few iterations of kind of the same symbol that's on your hand. This is not specific. You're getting the feeling not specific to this the individual bad guy or the individual Night King that you're familiar with, other than this is a marking tactic for a demon or a devil to mark their territory, and also somehow at some point transferring power to and from the individual with the mark. You aren't able to find anything around the Nightmare King specifically, or demons that kind of haunt dreams, and that connected to kind of being a part of anything, though. Gimble investigation. Wait, what were you looking for? Again,
I was looking for the same thing, seeing about her bonds.
Go ahead and roll investigation then.
Nice. That is a 28.
28. You're able to match up some of the symbols to
having a
sorry,
I need to look
this.
Awesome.
I need to look this up real quick.
You're expecting us to do a bunch of research.
Instead of a shopping episode, it's a research episode.
Yeah. Bet you this is amazing content for
and
everyone
then they
watching.
read a book. We had a couple very dramatic episodes, so some exposition's never bad, right?
You see a few of the symbols are connected in some kind of some form of abyssal. So you can plainly see that the creature that's connected to this symbol is in some way connected to the abyss. It's not, from what you guys thought before, a devil. It's not connected to the nine hells in any way. This is kind of an agent of chaos, and a kind of a demon of some sort connected to the abyss.
I'll point out to Dream where that was in the book so that she can read that section as well.
Yeah.
That narrows it down. I know he'd already kind of told us his name, but perhaps this is a step towards some sort of disruption.
I'll get a book on the abyss.
Okay.
So I write the abyss.
With that, there are the hand brings back 5, but there are tomes and tomes and tomes on the abyss. Yeah, you can stay here for a lifetime and read about the abyss and the different demons that kind of reside there. Kaim, go and roll your investigation.
Which animal is best? No. Oh wait, you're looking at diseases.
Oh no! Which disease is best?
80.
80. Okay. No. Sorry, your investigation, not
my investigation.
percentile. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was like, damn,
I got
80. All right, you know everything.
My investigation. 10.
10.
We should use it. 80.
You're not able to find anything specifically on what's plaguing the hollow. You know from being there and witnessing it that it's really affecting the Earth Genasi. So you're looking for specifically like Earth Genasi or elemental plane of Earth, diseases or anything like that, and you're not able to come up with anything.
Kaim, are you ill? I'm kind of looking at what he's reading.
Looking over his shoulder.
No, not me. Well, not at the moment. But something's not right back home. I originally was supposed to try to find some answers and do some learning. And now seems like the good time to take advantage. And I kind of look around at all the mage hands flying around with books.
And as you look up, you didn't notice before, but you see on the ceiling, pretty far away up, you can't really tell the distance, but you see books and you see kind of bookshelves connected to the ceiling, rows and rows. And that's actually what the mage hands are going up to and taking from and giving them to you. What?
That's really cool. I'm going to grab another sheet of paper and write down something like Earth Genasi medicine or history of. I'd probably just go with Earth Genasi and see where that leads me.
Sure. Roll your percentile. 65. You're brought back a few tomes, similar treatise on like the history of things. A few of them speaking about how the Genasi themselves were formed. Some people think that it was like a connection between either jinn or some kind of extraplanar deity, kind of getting with a human or someone from this realm and creating a Genasi. They're actually, it's more so that the beings themselves are some way touched by the weave or touched by that specific elemental plane. So there's no kind of crossbreeding happening with a Genasi. So theoretically, from the text or from the theory that you're reading, anyone could theoretically be a Genasi. It doesn't have to be from a specific birth. You know that some factors travel through kind of the birth order. So it makes sense that most Genasis are related, or if you have a child, it's more than likely going to be a Genasi just because of the things that are passed on from person to person or from father to son or from mother to daughter. But there's no specific breeding involved when it comes to creating a Genasi.
So with this, do I recognize the author's name or anything?
Roll a history check.
That's a 12.
12. Not at all.
Okay. Does this, like the information I'm seeing, does that, I don't know how to phrase it other than like,
Does it make sense to you?
Blasphemous? Is it hilariously wrong? Is it?
From what you've seen, and you've spent all of your life in the Hollow around your own people, from what you've seen, there is interbreeding between kind of the different tribes, and there's not really you know that more likely than not, if like a water genasi and a water genasi have a baby, it's probably going to be a water genasi. But you've seen interbreedings of earth genasi and water genasi come out with not a fire genasi, like a wind, no, not a wind genasi, an air genasi. So you've seen kind of different variations there, but you get the feeling that there's some kind of in like fantasy terms dominant trait that happens when two of the like genasis have a baby or procreate.
Okay.
So I mean, most of it is ringing true to you.
Nothing about susceptible diseases, right?
Looking through it more, you know that the genasi themselves, since they have something inside of them that has been touched by one of the planes, you know that they can be affected by variations in the planes themselves. So whether it's the connection from the material plane to those specific planes, or whether it's that plane itself, some kind of disturbance in it. You've seen there's documented case in the fire genasi. They've seen kind of a steep decline in the past years, past 100 years or so, because apparently there was some kind of events that happened on the elemental plane of fire that's either stopped from new genasi from being created, or maybe even outright killed those genasi that were alive during that time. This rings true to you because you don't have fire genasi at the Hollow. That's one that's kind of not present. So it does ring true to you that you're in your lifespan you haven't seen one. Everyone else except for Theo, I know that Dream and Gimble have seen a fire genasi at Steelcry, but that's really the only fire genasi you've seen. So there's nothing specifically around plagues or diseases, but since genasi are connected to such an extent to the planes, if there's slight variations in the planes or the relationship between the planes, then that could result in something.
Okay. After like figuring that out and deducing that, I'm just gonna close the books and set them to the side, and then open back up the bestiary and keep scrolling through that and trying to re-cheer myself up.
Yeah, okay. The less depressing book.
All right. Are we doing anything else?
Is there any charts of the conflagration peaks? I didn't think to ask that, but I should probably ask that. Abjuration may not be the best place, but hey, throw it out.
You get one tome back, and it's an explorer's guide to Zastra, and you see a small chapter in there on the peaks of conflagration, where the author outlines his journey climbing the peaks, and he got maybe a third of the way up before their band had to turn back because of being attacked by Bahirs and rocks and dragons in the sky. From what you can tell, this isn't a very scientific tome. It's more kind of an exploration, and the prose itself is a bit more whimsical than like a straight treatise on something. So you don't know the validity of it, but the author explains that they couldn't go any further.
Okay. That's still not bad information. There's another, addition to what we know. So we can follow this up in town then and see if there's anybody that knows anybody firsthand. We have some names. We can take this with us.
Yes, hopefully there will be someone who is well known and respected.
Shall we drop these off, or did anybody have any other tomes they wanted to grab?
Oh, good to go.
Do we see a place to put back the ones we don't need?
As you have been requesting more and more, the piles that have been stacking up are slowly just disappearing from the desk.
How does it know if we're done with it or not?
You get the feeling that if you request more than 20 at a time, keep cycling.
I'll hold on to the one about the Conflagration Peaks, and I'll hold on to the one that told us that the Nightmare King was a demon and connected to the Abyss.
Okay. As you guys head towards the door and leave, you see the tomes under your arm as you leave the threshold disappear.
Shoot.
That'll stop people from stealing them.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, we can always check them out again.
I wonder if you can request to take them. If you have permission.
Is there any kind of info desk for the library?
Can we take this box?
Yeah, I mean, in this college for sure. There's definitely an info desk right next to the library. You ask if you can copy any of the books themselves. They say that you can request specific pages, and Unseen Servants will copy them over for you and give you a copy of them. But to copy an entire book might take time. But definitely can do it, but it might, depending on how big the book is and what you need, it could take up to a week or so.
Let's revisit this then. We'll come back. Jeez, I do not want to go into the College of Illusion after seeing this place. It's going to be a desk, and you go up to ask them, and they it tries to eat you.
Disappear.
Yeah.
The floor disappears, and you fall.
It's lava.
What do you guys do now?
Go into town?
Okay. And you're looking for
adventurers that may have been up the peaks, I think is what Dream said.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we'd go to a bar of some kind and see if anybody has a reputation.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation. Everybody, I say, could.
Yes, that's my best skill.
2. I do not know. I'm like,
30,
the sun
20.
is out.
30,
You got a 3.
Okay.
Me and Theo are looking at the sun.
You guys are like, I want to go swimming again.
I really do.
You're muted, buddy. Jake.
I was agreeing. It was very nice.
Okay.
I also got that too.
Gimble, you guys are loving that pool. Gimble, you are able to identify a few adventuring parties, none of which are going towards or even near the peaks. Yeah, they don't know of anyone who would. They kind of laugh at you at first, thinking that you're joking, but no.
Well, who would have thought the wizards would be the most useful people?
You guys doing anything else?
I say I'm a little flat out of ideas on that one. Does anybody have any ideas on more information?
I will say that knowing what you're up against, probably taking some time before tomorrow to purchase some items, maybe like climbers kits, seeing if there's anywhere to purchase like potions. I would say the travel up the mountain, even if he can get you close to where Miranda pinged, it's going to be pretty treacherous.
Let's go ahead and stock up then.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say any mundane items you can purchase. If you want to do any magical items, we can kind of role play through that and see what you guys are interested in buying.
We'll get climbers kits for everybody. Maybe we can get like 2 potions each for, or 1 potion each for me, Dream, and I guess maybe just me and Dream. Everybody else has healing abilities. So I was trying to think of like, we could make sure that we can heal the healers if the healers go down. But their healing's probably going to be better than a potion.
So for the climbers kits, how many of those are you getting?
5.
5. So 25
Unless
gold
anybody has
each
them
for
already.
those. So take
anybody
those
already have them?
off.
I think Rook might.
Okay.
I feel like that's something Rook would have.
I don't think so. Especially not because he kind of left in a hurry. He didn't even get his armor. So I would say
true.
any of his stuff.
Okay, so mine is 125.
Okay. Healing potions. Are you looking for kind of the base potions of healing or?
Yes.
Okay, so those are 50 gold each.
Okay.
How many of those are you wanting to buy?
We get 1 each, 1 for me and 1 for Dream, or 2 each. Because they're really just to get Theo.
Yeah.
I think just
Rook
1 each is good. I mean, we made it. I mean, knock on wood, we made it this far.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're like up against, though. I'm gonna learn the hard
True.
way.
Shoot.
I trust you, Daddy Money, because I don't know how much money we have.
We have 875. After we buy the potions, we'll have 775.
Is that taking away the 580 you're paying to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason I had that really specific number was because we had 1,581. So I got rid of 581.
Yeah, then I think just get 2. I don't know. That's we have a pretty good amount still, I guess. Should we send word to Captain Everett? Were we supposed to meet him? And I just want to make sure he doesn't start to hate us if we don't show up.
Oh yeah, what were we supposed to do with that? I don't remember.
He was going to take us to Ashar.
No, he was going to take you guys to see if you can find the Necromancer's Island.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he's currently waiting.
Is he already waiting for us?
He's currently waiting in Verons. He said he'd give you guys a week before he departs. But he seemed pretty interested in it. So it seems like even if you guys don't accompany him, he's probably still going to look for the island.
That could help us later on, right?
Maybe. Or he could die.
Back.
What I'm saying is like, it might be like, Theo doesn't know this, but like, maybe you guys should like communicate to him and be like, hey, we still want to do that. Can you wait a little bit longer? And like, we can go with you later. Something else came up that's super important. You
can definitely send a message to him.
But let's do it. We'll send him a message. Hey, Captain Everett. We got sidetracked in Ashar. We have to go up the conflagration peaks for a hopefully brief trip to find a ping of what we discussed in the port. But we would still love to join you to the Necromancer's Island.
All right. You send that off. Are you paying for it? Or are you doing like mundane, having someone deliver a letter?
How much are you paying for it cost?
Let's see.
Rook
I was
is not going to be
try and find Rook to make him do it, or like to borrow the sending stone.
Oh, that wouldn't be far enough to get all the way to
I forgot. Yeah, so we have to pay somebody to cast sending. I need to get that spell.
Third level, you're looking at somewhere around have it written down here somewhere.
Like just buy a scroll.
Something like that. Third level, you're looking around 200, 250 or so.
Is that a scroll to send it, or that's for someone to send it for us?
It's for someone to send it for you.
How much is it for Gimble to get a
people.
scroll so that he can like scribe it?
Scroll itself. Oh, actually, let's see.
Oh no, is it more?
So they would be, what level is that?
Third?
Let me do some math here, sorry.
Nappy.
So
If
does this
Finnick is charging that, if Finnick has sending and he charges that at his little operation, I don't think he's making that.
You're able to see. Yeah, I wish he made that much. You're able to find kind of different, as you're investigating different, what you can tell levels of wizard. The more pompous, the more learned these wizards are, the more they cost. If you're able to find someone closer to your own level, the actual cost goes down a bit. The lowest you can get it though is, from what you can tell, is around 180, 170
So
for someone to cast it.
And how long does a letter take?
do you talk to Theo about this?
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm doing this audibly looking for somebody to cast it.
If you wait until tomorrow morning, I can cast for you.
Oh, well, that'd be great. Thank you. That would save us a
Hank
lot of
forgot
money.
that he can change spells every day.
Thanks, cleric. It's so magical. I wish I could just learn spells from you.
That'd be so badass.
Need to become one of those scribe wizards.
You don't know who Captain Everett is.
I don't.
Shoot.
So I can't use it then, can I?
It says someone you're familiar with.
Oof.
Oh, so that means that even the other person couldn't use it, right? I'd have to.
Yeah, that's true. So you'd have to buy the scroll for it.
And how much is the scroll?
I would rule that you're able to kind of like. No, I think that would break the spell. Yeah, you'd have to know the person.
So how much is the scroll for? 225? Because that would be really useful to have.
I don't have the scroll cost in here. Yeah, I would say it would probably be around maybe a little bit more, just so you can keep casting it. So it'd be somewhere around, I'll say 260.
I have 100 gold that I can contribute to the party.
Okay. I mean,
that's what gold is. I can't help.
I will throw that down.
So that would be 160 out of the party fund. Do we feel like that's useful enough to do?
Honestly, the amount that we talk about being able to use sending stuff, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Especially now that we're like doing things across continents and like working with people in different planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you can still use it on a different plane. There's just a 5% chance it doesn't make it. But I feel like if you're going to get a response, you would know if it doesn't.
Yeah, so then this would be more useful than
respond.
the stone then to actually have it.
Yeah,
At this point,
traverse that much. Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Okay.
I honestly think it's worth it.
Okay. I buy a scroll of it then.
Okay.
I'm
To
taking
copy into my
100
book,
gold
and
away.
I'll spend the rest of my day copying it into my book.
Also, you have to pay the cost of copying it to your book.
Mofo. Do I get any, is there any discount that I could get by using the equipment in the room in there?
Yeah, we'll say it acts as a Since you can, in your room, you can request servants. So we'll say it acts as if you were a part of that school. So it halves the time and halves the cost.
Okay. So that would bring
So
it from
I think it's worth
150 to 75.
I still think it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good spell to have. And there's also as the day daylight starts to leave. That is a very poetic way to say that night's coming. As the daylight starts to leave, you see a bizarre kind of pop-up shop come right outside the gates into Ashar. And it looks like some delegates from the from Ashar itself are selling some magical goods. Some of the adventurers that you guys were talking to in town kind of comb over the goods and see what's there, see if there's anything good to buy. I know you guys spent a lot of money, but this is kind of the magical zenith of Zastra. So if there's anything else that you'd want to buy, it'd be here probably.
You tell us this after we spend all of our gold.
Can I make a roll, I guess, is there any, I don't know, I want to say, is there any cool magic items there, but I know you need me to be more specific about it than that.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the tables are full of awesome magic items. I'll have you roll on the magic item table to see kind of what you see or what you find. So I'll have you roll a... roll a... Where's my table? There we go. Roll a percentile die.
Um, 64.
64. Then roll a d4.
One.
You see one item that catches your eye. Go and roll another percentile.
46.
You see a chainmail draped over one of the chairs next to one of the more larger tables, glistening with kind of going from like a blue to purple to light yellow hue. You see next to it on a little card armor of... I mean, it's armor +3 chain shirt. So it's a chain shirt that's +3.
Oh.
I'll let anyone else.
AC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. +3 to your AC. Sorry. I'll let anyone else roll if they're looking for anything interesting.
I just want to see what's out there. I have 10 gold, but I just want to see what's out there.
Go for it. Yeah. Roll a percentile.
96.
Roll a d4.
3.
3. So you 3 catch your eye. Go and roll another percentile.
Now we're playing D&D. We've been rolling some
62.
dice tonight.
62. Is that what you said? 62?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 62. You see a really well tailored robe. It's kind of floating on its own in the middle of kind of a few different items on the table. It's slowly turning itself to show you kind of everything around it. Right underneath, you see a little, the same kind of little sticker or little price tag floating right underneath it, saying "Robe of the Arch Magi."
Oh, Gimble. How nice
That's
would that be?
pricey. How expensive is it?
That is a fantastic question. Roll your second percentile, and I'll look that up.
I like it.
50.
50. On your 50, you see another. Yeah, you just saw it.
Nope.
You see another cloak, and it's kind of still in the air, floating around. And as it turns, you see that it goes invisible, and then visible again, and then invisible. And right underneath, you see Cloak of Invisibility. And then last one.
$88.
You see a mannequin kind of sitting down on a chair, and one thing catches your eye. Around its head is swirling a small stone.
What color is it?
It is... it is the Iron Stone of Regeneration, so I don't know what color it is.
Oh, shit. That's the HP regen, right?
Yeah.
Oof. How much is that thing?
These are really
Expensive.
great magical items.
Yeah, how much is that robe?
Under the Iron Stone is a 3,400 gold. And yeah, under the Robe of the Arch Magi is 75,000.
Oof.
How
Good
much
lord.
is the chain shirt?
That is a great question.
Sorry.
It is free. No, it's not.
It's free to the rogue in the party. Oh, wait.
It has a price range. It says 24,000 or best offer.
Forget it. Okay.
Good lord. All right. Well, I thank the vendors for letting me look at stuff and say if I ever get the dragon sword, they'll be back.
Please do.
How much would they buy an alarm lantern for? I'll even demonstrate it and cast alarm as a ritual into the lantern so they can see that it covers an entire room. How amazing is that?
What?
Not just a string.
I'm looking it up online, but it's an item that I created.
It's like, yeah, you made it up.
Why isn't it on there? Oh yeah, obviously. Alarm is a second level spell.
First level spell.
First level spell.
And I'll even give it to you with alarm already cast in it. So you can activate it whenever you need.
It baffles me that isn't an actual item. I feel like that would be a super useful item. Like,
yeah, the only reason.
Go ahead.
Also, the only reason I'm interested in getting rid of it is because now we had like our double protector shield we used before. But
they give you a cost around 200 gold pieces to buy it.
Hey, that's scribing that scroll.
Yeah.
Almost.
I know it gets us money back. All right. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, you exchange that over for 200 gold.
All right. And I would get rid of the another thing, but I don't think it's something that's going to still be too useful. Okay, cool. I still have my ring of spell storing, but if I'm allowed to keep that, I'd like to keep that for now then.
Yeah. Yeah, Elifair said that since you didn't open the letter, he didn't take it away from you.
Thanks, buddy. He's a cool guy. I want to be friends with that guy. I think that's
I don't.
all I have to sell. I mean, I have a ring of wishing, but it's used. Does it just vanish when it's used, or just become mundane?
It just becomes mundane.
I'll just keep it for the memory of never being able to cash wish ever again.
Oh, womp womp.
It was worth it. I screwed up, but it was worth it.
So from there, we'll say you guys head back to Gimble's room, cramping in to kind of sleep off the night. Pretty small room for 4 people, but hey, what are you going to do? We'll say in the morning, you are able to make your way over to the Conjuration College, find Rook kind of slumped over in a chair, drooling as he's still sleeping. From that, you see that Philip comes back and says, I've encountered a bit of a problem locating you're locating the exact points on the peaks of conflagration. I can get you close, but it seems there's something inhibiting my magic from seeing. I can get you a few miles away, so it'll still be a bit of a climb, but you're circumventing much of the mountain itself.
I mean, that's still a dramatic improvement on trying to leave from here. We took
Very well.
what could be days of travel and narrowed it down to hopefully a day of travel. It's much better.
Those few miles might take you a bit more than a day if you're careful, and I recommend that you are careful. But if you are ready, I can attempt my spell.
Have we figured out a return trip at this point? That's my other concern. I think do we feel that we have enough rations to leave immediately? I have 5 days available.
I
I'm not
have,
sure rations.
yeah, I have rations. I also have Goodberry, so I can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, then we're
Yeah.
screw rations. We
Don't-
got Goodberry.
Don't need no rations. You got Soylent.
What's Goodberry?
In that case, I think we are, and I will have sent the sending message to Everett before this point,
Okay.
so that I can leave with full spell slots.
Okay. At that point, you make your way outside of Ashar into kind of the village of Ashar. He makes you all come close, kind of hold each other's hand as he raises up a hand and attempts to cast the spell. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This was awesome. Another episode that was less about combat, more about just exploring the world, which I enjoy. I hope you enjoy too. But there definitely will be combat coming up. So don't you worry. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. If you like this video or like anything that we're doing, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. It just kind of shows us what you guys are wanting to see. Also, check out some of our other playlists. We have one for Rime of the Frost Maiden, as well as Chronicles of Darkness. that Chronicles of Darkness has been going almost the same amount of time as this stream. So there's a ton of backlog there. And then we recently started around with the Frostmaiden when it came out, and that is an awesome series. Also, we have explainer videos up that explain kind of the system of Chronicles of Darkness. I know not many people know it, as well as we're starting to explain some stuff that's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which are really cool videos. And thank you to our patrons. I don't know if anyone else wants to snag the patron bit.
Sure. Thank you so much to Sparky and David, Daniel, David Lugo, Scott, and Rio's mom, who is our newest patron. Thanks so much, Rio's mom. There's I wanted to reiterate, because I know we had some people that were saying like, oh, I really enjoy this, but I can't join the Patreon. That's totally fine. Please feel free to like ask any questions or whatnot that you have in the comments or through any of the social media that we have below. And then of course we have the after party video on Patreon for the folks that are over there. But we're still happy to answer any of the questions or anything like that outside of this, as I think a lot of people have found out from having commented. So thank you all so much for just being here.
Yeah, you're just watching us is kind of price enough. So you don't have to, please, if you can, support us on Patreon, because we have some really cool stuff there. But if you can't, then no problem at all. And to end out, we will end with our new tagline that one of our lovely patrons gave us. Take it away, Coulter.
Roll for initiative and say your tearful goodbye. Rio does a really good crying thing at the end there. I can't manage it.